What's up, headbangers? Welcome back to the heaviest show in the universe. Today we're reviewing Rivers of Nile's brand new album, The Work. And I'm sure all of you have only one question in mind about the album. Is the saxophone coming back? Let's find out. Okay, so Rivers of Nihil is a technical death metal band formed in Pennsylvania. And this album, The Work, is coming out under Metal Blade Records, a big release. These guys really took off in 2018 with their album Where Owls Know My Name, which was universally acclaimed by every critic and fan and metalhead in the death metal community. This album was a straight banger front to back, no weak tracks. They really nailed down that technical death metal sound that only they could make. It's so unique, it's so heavy, and they're not jumping all around the fretboard. They're not soloing into outer space. They're really focusing on playing with the rhythms and playing with the timings than they are really trying to put as many notes per second over in as many measures as they can. And now with an album so critically acclaimed as Where Owls Know My Name, like how in the world do you even think about topping something like that? Well, you don't try to play the same music and play it better. You try to try something new and incorporate new styles of music. When I was first listening to this album, I thought, is this a concept album? I couldn't really put my finger down on it. The lyrical themes and the emotions that were being portrayed through the music, they were really getting to me. They were really getting inside and making me feel certain emotions. I thought this was a concept album about unhealthy relationships, toxic relationships. And the more I read the lyrics and the more I looked into it, I was right in a way. You see, this album is about the work. 9-to-5 jobs, the work that you do every day in your life, whether it's construction or office work or a touring musician. This album is about the effort that goes into keeping up that pace. This album is about how we all feel drained from doing this every day. There's themes about drugs and alcohol and emotions and how we are forced to do things just to keep up the pace and not miss rent payments or anything like that. The way that they've laid it out in this album is stunning. It's beautiful. It is fantastic. I really want to start off with the jazz influence that they've put into this album. And they always had this, even going back to Monarchy and Where Owls Know My Name. They had this jazz influence about them that was apparent, but they've really dived head first into that on this album. What are we to do now with all of this? It's not forced whatsoever. It's like these guys have a natural ability to play this type of music and layer it into death metal. The production is great from front to back. You can make out every single instrument, from the voice, whether it's growling or clean, to both guitars layering over top of one another. The drums are perfect, and the bass adds that depth of sound that is so valuable to this type of music. And speaking of jazz, yes, the saxophone is back in full force, baby. What else stands out about this album other than just the jazz play in the death metal sound is the lyrics. And this is not something that you would automatically think of when you're thinking of death metal. Like, the lyrics? How are the lyrics standing out? It's about war and death and gore and Satan and whatever else you can think of. But not here. Not here, not on this album. And this is typical of Rivers of Nihil. They've never been the typical lyrical death metal type of band, but on this album, they really dive into some serious topics that we can all relate to and that we can all feel. When you go through and listen to this music, not only are the instruments making you feel what they are feeling, but these lyrics are helping paint that picture. In the song Dreaming Black Clockwork, which is about waking up on a Monday morning and getting ready for the grind and that sense of existential dread that a lot of us feel, dude, I felt that. And I know some of you are gonna feel that as well, man. It's such a common thing, and it's so cool that a band can really put their emotions into a song and carry us along on the ride and help us feel those same things that they're feeling as well. It makes us feel not alone. It makes us feel good. And the way this band can make us relate to them on an emotional level helps this album out so much and helps propel it forward, especially with them trying all these new things that, I don't know if you know this, but metalheads aren't the most open to bands that they like trying new types of music. And so when they do it like this, it really helps ease that transition from the jazzy, softer stuff into the death metal influenced sound. The soloing on this album front to back is a work of art, and there's not a solo in every song, and I love that. Not every song needs a solo. Not every song needs to be ripping front to back. And when they place these solos, they're placed so beautifully and so carefully in every song. Every single song on this album flows from one to the next seamlessly and perfectly. Like I said earlier, it puts you in the position of existential thought and dread that they're trying to portray with every single song here. Typical death metal blueprint on this album is completely out the window, and you're going to notice this in so many different tempo changes that the band puts into play. So they're going to take a beautiful acoustic piece of work with clean vocals and groovy drum beats and a smooth bass line, and they're going to immediately transition into a heavy, ripping death metal riff. So heavy, it is so beautiful, it is so fantastic. I love it. I love it from front to back. Every single time that they do this on this album, it's not forced. It's so seamless. It's so awesome. They have a natural talent for this that other death metal bands can't do this. They're going to try to incorporate what they're doing, and it's going to fall flat. It's not going to go well. And the whole time I was listening to this, all I could think of was Opeth and Blackwater Park and Watershed and Ghost Reveries, these fantastic, beautiful pieces of work. These guys like the new Opeth? Are these guys Opeth? Now that Opeth has gone in the direction of getting rid of growls, playing no death metal, are these guys now taking that space? I feel like they are, with this album in particular. And that is a great thing because, of course, Opeth was better with the growls, obviously. So if we could get even a modicum of that back, whew, baby, I am happy. This album is a masterpiece, front to back. There are no weak songs. Everything is so well written. The new concepts that they have tried fit seamlessly in with their death metal sound, and it's beautiful. There's so many times where I'm banging my head, I'm grooving out, and the next minute they have me soothed along a ride down a river with them, talking about how they just want to get high to forget the day on songs like The Weight. The only bad thing I can say about this album is that there's not enough death metal. And that's okay. This album is them exploring their sound. They're trying to maybe not top Where Owls Know My Name, but they're trying to build on that. And the only way to build on that is to try new things and keep that sound. Not to just try to play the same type of music over and over and over again, because it gets boring, it gets stale, and then eventually your name dies out and drifts off into the ether. So adding up each individual score of each song and dividing by the number of songs on the album, we get a final score of 8.8 out of 10, which is an S tier banger. Headbangers, if you liked Where Owls Know My Name, you're gonna get a little bit of a shock with this album. It's not as heavy, it's not as brutal, but it still has tons of those brutal heavy parts. They're just masterfully woven in with a lot of jazz and pop and groove rock. It's beautiful, and I think it may take a while for this album to really sink in with us metalheads, but I loved it front to back, and this could easily be my album of the year. We'll wait to see what else the year has to offer, but that's how I feel at this moment in time. So, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of The Work by Rivers of Nihil? I want to hear what you had to say about it down below. Let's get this discussion going. Did you like the influences that they put in? Did you not like them? Are they going too much in the style of Opeth where they're going to forget their death metal roots? And are you worried about that? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you like this video, go down below and sauce me one of these bad boys and smash that subscribe button so you never ever miss a video. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you in the next episode of the heaviest show in the universe. Long live metal.